Bonjour Year 7. Welcome to the first of the YouTube lessons which I'm going to do. This is going to be slightly different from what we've been setting you in recent weeks because in effect I'm going to talk you through today's lesson almost as if you were in a classroom. The difference is that at some points in today's video I'm going to ask you to pause the video and do a couple of activities by yourself. In every other way, it's the same as being in a classroom. I'm going to explain new things to you, ask you to think about things, and then talk you through the activities and explain them to you. If you write today's date and title, pause the video, write today's date and title. I don't mind whether or not you complete your work on a Word document today. There's no attached sheet to today's lesson. It's merely going to be you completing activities and watching the video. So you can either submit your work through a Word document as usual, or you can do your work on pen and paper and take a photograph and submit it that way. It's entirely up to you. As explained here, today's lesson is going to be a walkthrough lesson, revising some of the things that we have looked at in class this year, and also some of the things that we have looked at that we should have looked at in class, but which have been done in lockdown, in order to consolidate them further. So I'm aware that because of lockdown, it's very difficult to maybe know where we are in the year. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back and have a look at some of the topics that you might have looked at right at the start of the year. In fact, today's lesson is going to be looking at identity. We're going to do one activity on the topic of identity, where you talked about what you like and what you dislike, and then one also on the topic of school, which you did earlier in the year. And then also we're going to do a little activity from Module 4 about your town, which is some of the things that you've been doing in recent weeks in your lessons that I've been setting you in lockdown. Today's extension work is going to be to carry on, if you like, with some of those activities from the Around the World in 80 Days. Some of you have done some fantastic work with that over the last couple of weeks, so well done to those people. I did put the list on Instagram today, so that should be on there. You might have seen that. And I did ask for it to be on the Year 7 blog, but that's not been updated yet, unfortunately. So hopefully next week those names will be on the Year 7 blog as well. So apologies for that if anyone did look out for that. As you can see in lockdown, from my bit emoji, an up-to-date version of what I look like. I've grown a lovely beard, and I'm very excited to do today's YouTube lesson as something different. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look back at the topic about identity, talking about what you like and what you dislike. On the screen are 18 different words. I'd like to pause the video now in a second, and I want you to look down those list of words. First of all, can you pick out which ones of those you would decide are cognates? Those are words that are the same in English and in French. Which one of them are near cognates? In other words, have a link between French and English, but are maybe slightly different. And which one of them are non-cognates? And from that list, can you work out what those non-cognate words mean? In addition to that, some of them are le, some of them are la, and some of them are le at the start of them. Again, what does that mean simply? Okay, so pause your video now and have a little think about that. Okay. First of all, le, la, and le. As you know, as you probably know, and if you didn't know, you will have just forgotten it. Words in French have a gender, either masculine or they're feminine. That doesn't mean, for example, that if it's talking about for example, an animal, it doesn't mean that animal is male or female. It just means that that word itself has is either masculine or feminine in its nature. So first of all, I'm going to read down the list of words here, and just as a listening activity, just listen to them being pronounced. Think about where they are pronounced differently, even if they're spelt the same. They're cognate. Think about where they are pronounced differently. And it's a good little listening activity. If you like, I'm going to leave a little pause after each one, and you can repeat the word yourself as a little bit of speaking practice. Le sport, le racisme, le rock, le tennis, les insectes, les jeux vidéo, les chats, la danse, les animaux, le foot, le rugby, les spaghettis, les pizzas, le rap, les chiens, les araignées, les reptiles, la Nintendo DS. Okay, so you will have noticed there that some of them were masculine, le, some of them were feminine, la, some of them were plural, les. The ones that were perhaps not as obvious as some others, les chats. Want to remember here, les chats, cats. Les chiens, dogs. Les araignées, spiders. We're going to see if you can remember those in a minute. Okay. Other ones that may have been less obvious there, les jeux vidéo, video games. Les jeux vidéo, video games. Okay, I'm going to put some images on the screen in a second. So what I'm going to ask you to do is see if you can remember as many of those words as you possibly can, particularly those that were non-cognates. And in a second, see how many images on the next slide you can remember the words for. So you can pause the video again now if you like to take stock of those words that are maybe not as familiar to you. And then on the next slide, I'm going to put some images up and you can pause the video again, see how many of them you can remember and practice saying them out loud to yourself. Okay, if you'd like to pause the video now, do so. And I'm going to go from left to right along the top and say them for you, and you can repeat after. See if you remembered how to say them. Les chiens, les spaghettis, les araignées, les chats, le foot, le rock, or you could have had la guitare, les reptiles, le rugby, la danse, feminine word, le tennis, les jeux vidéo, les pizzas. Okay, which one was the feminine one again? That was la danse. And which one of those were plural? The plural ones were les chiens, les spaghettis, les araignées, les chats, les reptiles, les pizzas. Most unfamiliar word there is les araignées. But can you think of an English word there that links maybe slightly to this word when we're talking about spiders? Now, the word arachnid or arachnophobia, to mean that you're scared of spiders, comes from the word arachnid, which means, as I presume it is a creature with 8 legs. And so there's a little bit of a linguistic link there for you. But that's maybe the one that you we might remember. You might look back at that at the slightly later in the lesson to see if you can remember that word. Les araignées, also very important, les chiens and les chats. We also discussed how to express your likes and dislikes. So let's go along this list here. We've got j'adore. You can repeat this again as I'm saying it. J'adore. J'aime bien. J'aime. Je n'aime pas. Je déteste. One more time. J'adore. J'aime bien. J'aime. Je n'aime pas. Je déteste. So how would you say the following phrases? How would you say the first 5 up there? Can you pause the video here for a minute? How you would think about how you would say these. So, for example, j'adore les chiens. J'aime bien le tennis. J'aime le foot. Je n'aime pas la danse. Je déteste les pâtes ou les spaghettis. The word pâte is a word for pasta in general. So if you needed to, you can go back and write these 5 words down here, these 5 expressions down if it's going to help you with the next activity. The next activity I'm going to ask you to do is to, usually you would do this with a partner, but we're not going to do it with a partner here, obviously. Think about how you would say these 10 phrases, and you can write them down in your book if you like. Again, pause the video now. Okay, number 1. Je n'aime pas le rock. 2. J'aime bien les consoles de jeux. Ou j'aime bien les jeux vidéo. 3, number 3. J'aime les spaghettis. Ou j'aime les pâtes. 4, 4. Je déteste le tennis. 5, 5. J'adore la danse. 6, 6. Je déteste les chats. 7, 7. J'adore les araignées. 8, 8. Je n'aime pas la pizza, ou les pizzas. 9, 9. J'aime les reptiles. 10, 10. J'aime bien le rugby. Okay, so that recaps then some simple opinions and some of those things that you might express that you liked. There's a little extension task. You can pause the video now if you like. Go back and have a look up what else you might like, and you can write down a phrase on your paper if you like about 2 or 3 other things that you maybe like or dislike, and you can use the website www.wordreference.com, and it's the best way, much better than using Google Translate, of finding vocabulary. Okay, moving on to module 2, which we looked at school subjects. Within that, we looked at expressing your likes and dislikes, which is what we're going to recap today. Next week, we might do something slightly more complicated or slightly different with that. We also discussed what your school routine is and everything like that. So what I'm going to do today is going to recap for you the most important thing from this topic, which is talking about the school subjects. And what I'm going to do, you might have seen that actually that I've had a very successful YouTube video on my account, which has been shared actually nationally, where I'm presenting vocabulary using emojis. So I've taken this from the presentation that I did. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to read out the first row of subjects. I'm going to repeat them twice. I'm going to repeat them firstly without the word displayed, and after that I'm going to show you what the word is. What I'd like you to do at the same time is after the pause, once I've said it, is you to repeat the word as well. So just like we would do in class when I'm speaking or I'm saying a word and you would repeat it, I would like you to try and do the same thing, and then see at the end of it how many of these you can remember if you have repeated them a few times. So from left to right, from the top: le français, l'allemand, l'espagnol, l'anglais, le EPS. So again, I'm going to display them at the top now with the words, and again you can repeat them after I've said them. Le français, l'allemand, l'espagnol, l'anglais, le EPS. And you can rewind and have a go at repeating those again another couple of times if you can. This fourth one here is meant to be English, in case you were wondering. One of those you can definitely tell is masculine. Which one? It's one on the left here, le français, masculine word, le français. The other ones you can't really tell here because it's got L apostrophe. And again, another question, why is that? Have a think about why that might be. The reason for that is because the letter that comes after it is a vowel. And so you can't have 2 vowels next to each other, one at the end of a word and one at the start of a word. It has to combine. So we can't really tell whether or not they're actually masculine or feminine. Don't worry too much about that. You do end up in the end knowing whether they are masculine or feminine. And in many cases, it's not actually that important to know that. So we've got not many cognates here, but although we do obviously recognize the word español, and in Spanish the word España is the word for Spain. The EPS, we talk about physical education. Well, in French, EPS stands for Éducation Physique and Sportive. So it's almost exactly the same. Physical education and physical and sporting education. All right, the next 5 then. Repeat after I've said them if you can, please. Le théâtre, le dessin, le commerce, l'histoire, la géographie, le théâtre, le dessin, le commerce, l'histoire, la géographie. I should point out here that the word H in French acts like a vowel, so that's why there's an L apostrophe there. La géographie, a feminine word. You also notice the pronunciation of le théâtre. It's not the. You can't say the th sound in French. So it's le théâtre. And finally, la religion, la musique, l'informatique, la chimie, la biologie, la physique, les sciences, les maths, la religion, la musique, l'informatique, la chimie, la biologie, la physique, les sciences, and les maths. Okay, I'm going to take those away and see if you can remember how many of those you can say. If after you've had a go at that, you need to go back and maybe look again at some of those that you can't remember, that's how you build up vocab. I'm going to get you to do now is a little writing activity. Write out, please, and fill in the gaps for these subjects. Pause the video now. Okay, I'm going to go through the answers for you here. Fill in the missing letters for these subjects. La géographie. Okay, IE is a very common substitution for Y in French. L'anglais. La musique. Similarly, QUE at the end of a word is very, IQUE is a replacement for IC. Where we have IC in English, they have IQUE. Think of lots of words like, if you're describing your town, touristique, historique, for touristic, historic, they both end IQUE. The word for art, le dessin. Le français. I wonder how many of you remember the little, what they call a cedilla, a squiggle underneath the C. That gives it the S sound. Otherwise, it would be pronounced franquais. So do remember that. L'informatique. L'informatique, another word ending in IQUE. L'histoire. Key thing to remember here is the O and the I are the other way around. Histoire, and that changes the way that it's pronounced. Le EPS. Le EPS. And the word for chemistry, la chimie. La chimie. Think about how you would pronounce these two. Les maths and le théâtre. Remember the TH sound is a T sound, not a th. So les maths and le théâtre. Les maths, along with les sciences, is the only subjects which are plural. Okay, so remember what our 5 words for giving opinions were. Remember what they were? J'adore, j'aime bien, j'aime, je n'aime pas, and je déteste. How would you think? Have a think about how you would say these, how you would give these particular opinions on these subjects. Again, pause the video now if you need to and have a write them down in your book. We've got j'adore le dessin. Here you do have to remember to put in the article le, la, ou les. J'aime bien le français. J'aime la musique. Je n'aime pas la géographie. Je déteste les sciences or la chimie. Okay. What we're going to do now is I'm going to introduce, we're going to go, that's the end of the revision of Module 1 and Module 2 for today's lesson. We're going to revisit some of those things in the coming weeks as well. I just wanted to revisit some of those key vocabulary pieces from those topics. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go back to the module on town. And in previous weeks, what you have done is you have looked at places in town and directions and a few other things like that, a few different verbs. Today I'm going to introduce you to the verb or how you say to want to do something. And so what I'd like you to do, I'm going to talk you through this verb. I'd like you to write this down in a minute, please. First of all, just have a look at it and I'm going to read it out and you can repeat the French after me because it's not immediately obvious how you say these words. they're different to how they look like they might be pronounced. So je veux, that is French for how you say in English, I want. Je veux. Tu veux. To have a think about what this might mean as we're going. Tu veux, you want. Il veut, split this up slightly lower down, you notice, that's for a reason. Il veut, he wants. Elle veut, she wants. On veut, we want. Now this word here, on, kind of means the equivalent of one, what we say in English, one, but it's a bit old-fashioned in English. In French, you can use it to mean we as well. It's probably a bit easier to use it than the other form, which is nous. So there you go. This is the way of saying I want, you want, he wants, she wants, and we want. Quite important. 5 quite important pieces of language. It's an important verb. Je veux, tu veux, il veut, elle veut, on veut. You notice they're pronounced exactly the same way each time. But what is different about them? Well, here on the he and she form, it ends in a T. And also on the we form, it ends in a T. This is all the same form of the verb. So, je veux, with an X at the end. Tu veux, with an X at the end. I want and you want. Il, elle, ou on veut, with a T at the end. He, she, or we want. Okay? Can you remember what the endings were? I want, je veux, with an X. You want, tu veux, with an X. He wants, il veut, with a T. She wants, elle veut. And we want, on veut. Remember how you say these 5? I want, je veux. You want, tu veux. He wants, il veut. She wants, elle veut. We want, on veut. Okay, listen to the following 6 phrases. Or I should say, rather than phrases, they're exchanges. Notice these are all, the ones written in black here, these are all questions. And you should recognise the tu veux at the start of it. So just have a listen to this first of all.
Ceci les dialogues et les bonnes images. 1.
Tu veux aller au centre-ville dimanche après-midi? Non, merci. Je n'ai pas envie. Tu veux aller au centre-ville dimanche après-midi? Non, merci. Je n'ai pas envie.
2.
Tu veux aller au cinéma vendredi soir?
Non, merci. C'est ennuyeux.
Tu veux aller au cinéma vendredi soir?
Non, merci. C'est ennuyeux.
3.
Tu veux aller au McDo dimanche matin? D'accord, si tu veux. Tu veux aller au McDo dimanche matin? D'accord, si tu veux.
4.
Tu veux aller à la patinoire samedi soir? Ben non, c'est vraiment nul. Tu veux aller à la patinoire samedi soir? Ben non, c'est vraiment nul.
5.
Tu veux aller au parc samedi après-midi?
Oui, je veux bien.
Tu veux aller au parc samedi après-midi?
Oui, je veux bien.
6.
Tu veux aller au magasin samedi matin? Ah oui, super. Tu veux aller au magasin samedi matin? Ah oui, super.
Okay, so you might have worked out by now that the person who is asking a question to their friend about what they would like to do in town. So what I'd like you to do first of all is find the words which are places in town. So you can write them down if you like, but you don't have to. Find me the places which are find the words which are places in town, and secondly, find the time phrases. When do they ask where to go? So, as I said, each of these are questions. Tu veux aller au centre-ville dimanche après-midi? It's do you want to go? Do you want to go? And then they ask them if they want to go to a particular place and at a particular time. So pause the video now. and tell me which are the words which are places in town and what do they mean. There's a bit of a clue here. The 6 images are on the bottom right. And find me the time phrases. And can you look back as to what those time phrases might mean? In other words, when are they asking their friend when they want to go? I'm going to go down the list here, 1 to 6, and I'm going to translate them for you. It was a little extension there. Pause the video again in a second. But can you tell me what the replies are? Have a little look at the green responses that were given. Can you tell me what their friends said? Can you see if you can work them out? Okay, so number 1, tu veux aller. So as we saw before, tu veux means you want. But when it's asked as a question, that really turns it into do you want. The verb aller, here, aller means to go, a verb we have done in previous weeks, au centre-ville dimanche après-midi. So the word here for town centre, centre-ville. I'm going to go down the list actually. I'm going to tell you first of all what the words which are places in town. So number 2 was cinéma, you probably worked out was cinema. Or McDo, that's how the French say McDonald's, a bit like the equivalent of Mackie D's, I suppose. À la patinoire, to the ice skating rink. Au parc, to the park. And au magasin, to the shops. With a false friend that, people think it means magazines. Of course, when we're talking about town, that doesn't make any sense. Magasin are the shops. Okay, tu veux aller au centre-ville dimanche après-midi. Secondly, then, the time phrases. Dimanche après-midi. Vendredi soir. Dimanche matin. Samedi soir. Samedi après-midi. Samedi matin. So some of those come up a couple of times there. Days of the week. Remember what your days of the week were? Well, vendredi is Friday. Samedi is Saturday. Dimanche is Sunday. And matin, morning. Après-midi, afternoon. And soir, evening. So number 1 translates as tu veux aller au centre-ville dimanche après-midi. Do you want to go to the town centre on Saturday afternoon? Reply, non merci, je n'ai pas envie. Non merci, no thank you, je n'ai pas envie. Not really any clues there. The word envy, it means really I don't fancy it. Non merci, je n'ai pas envie. Number 2, tu veux aller au cinéma vendredi soir? Non merci, c'est ennuyeux. Do you want to go to the cinema on Friday night? No thank you, it's boring. Not very nice. Tu veux aller au McDo dimanche matin? Tu veux aller au McDo dimanche matin? Do you want to go to McDonald's on Sunday morning? D'accord. Might have heard your teacher say d'accord a few times. D'accord means okay. Si tu veux. Tu veux means you want. And this little word si, what might it mean? It means if. D'accord, si tu veux, if you want. Number 4, tu veux aller à la patinoire samedi soir? Do you want to go to the ice skating rink on Saturday night? Ben non, c'est vraiment nul. Well, no, it's really boring or really rubbish. Tu veux aller au parc samedi après-midi? Do you want to go to the park Saturday afternoon? Oui, je veux bien. Yes. We had this word bien at the start, if you remember, meaning kind of a little bit stronger than just j'aime. J'aime bien means I would like it. Yes, I would like it. Je veux bien. Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd really like to. Number 6, tu veux aller au magasin samedi matin? Do you want to go to the shops on Saturday morning? Ah oui, super. Yes, super. Okay, so there we go. If you write down the words in the 2 green boxes, and the last activity for today's lesson is going to be to use those. So those, so you can pause the video there and write down those words: vendredi, samedi, dimanche, and matin, après-midi, and soir, morning, afternoon, and evening. And you're going to use this this construction to ask the question: tu veux aller au cinéma? For example, tu veux aller au cinéma vendredi soir. You want to go to the cinema on Friday night. And I'm going to ask you to translate 3. I'm going to set you 1 question at a time. You can pause the video if you want to go back and rewind and have a look at what the vocab was. And see if you can form these 3 questions. I'm going to put the question up. You can pause the video and I'm going to put the answer up. So the first one I want you to translate. Do you want to go to the ice skating rink on Saturday afternoon? Sorry, on Sunday afternoon. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time to write it down. And then the answer I'm going to put up on the screen now. Tu veux aller à la patinoire dimanche après-midi? I should say at this point here that à la patinoire, you notice there are three different ways of saying to the, according to whether the word here is feminine, and it is in this case la patinoire, à la patinoire, dimanche après-midi, Sunday afternoon, dimanche après-midi. Number 2 then, do you want to go to the shops on Friday morning? You can go back and have a look at your vocab, rewind the video if you like, go back and have a look at the vocab if you don't remember for the shops. And the answer I'm going to put on the screen now. Tu veux aller au magasin vendredi matin? Here you notice, whereas the last one was à la patinoire, here you got the word aux, or. That's because the word magasin, shops, is plural. So when you use a plural, aux, tu veux aller au magasin Friday morning, vendredi matin. And thirdly, do you want to go to the town centre on Saturday night? Pause the video again. The answer is tu veux aller au centre-ville samedi soir. The word for centre is a masculine word, so that's why you have the little word au, au, and Saturday night, samedi soir. So remember, vendredi, samedi, dimanche, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, vendredi, samedi, dimanche, morning, matin, afternoon, après-midi, evening, soir. The last thing I want you to do today is just to think about what other places in town do you remember studying? Anything else that you remember from places in town? I'm going to put some words up on the board, which you may on the screen rather, which you may remember. So I'm going to talk you through them. Un cinéma, restaurant, un supermarché, un musée, un stade, un hôtel, un parc d'attractions, un bowling, un théâtre, un centre commercial ou des magasins, une piscine, une bibliothèque, une poste, une gare, une église. Hopefully the pictures are fairly obvious as what they are. So you can practice that phrase that we were doing there a minute ago. Tu veux aller au samedi, tu veux aller au cinéma vendredi soir. And if you like, if you've got a parent there to help you maybe, you can practice that construction by asking, do you want to go to, for example, any of these places on a particular day? You can set yourself a little bit of a challenge as to how you might ask, do you want to go to, for example, do you want to go to the restaurant on Saturday morning? Do you want to go to the museum on Friday morning? Or anything like that. Okay, that's it for today's lesson. As I said, the extension work for today's lesson is to go back and revisit any of those challenges from the Around the World in 80 Days. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me. My email is in the Show My Homework entry. Thanks for watching, and I hope that that's been useful for you this morning, or to go and recap some of that vocabulary from the previous topics.